I watched the new John Wick movie last night, man. Like after
Mm-hmm.
we finished playing and whatnot. Dude, that movie was pretty fucking good.
Oh, and this might actually heal you too.
Alright, hang on one second. I might have to turn my
Yeah.
I might have to turn my master volume down a little bit in the game. I mean, cause like the
Sorry.
no, 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 you're good. It's just because of it going through the Bluetooth headset. For some reason, it's like your voice. It's not really quiet. It's just kind of like distorted a little bit. You know what I mean? There's kind of just like a little bit of static, like echoey sound with it. So I just
Right.
want to turn my game volume down. That way, when we go to get into fights and stuff, I can still hear you. But yeah, dude, and like, I mean, I don't. All right, so let me ask you a question. Have you watched the first three John Wick movies? Like, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I never mind. I won't say nothing. Then I don't want to ruin it.
Oh, I can't put it on yet. That Night Howler's aspect.
Why not?
Night Howler increases because I don't have the required crafting material. Oh, never mind. I can. We're good. I can just put it on my necklace. Yeah. Now it says Blood Howl increases critical strike chance by 17.5. In addition, Blood Howl also affects nearby companions and players for 3 seconds. So you might get 3 seconds of a boosted attack speed. You might get a little bit of crit chance. You might get healed. I'm not
Right.
sure how it's gonna work.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could always just kind of take a look and see, like what comes of it,
Right.
what happens, stuff like that. And another movie I watched yesterday, I spent like fucking almost 7 hours just watching movies yesterday. After I got done streaming and stuff, I finally watched Avengers Endgame.
Mhm.
It's the only Avengers game I didn't like, the only Avengers movie I haven't watched yet. So I wanted to make sure that that I was able to watch it, and it was pretty good, man. Like I watched a couple. I watched the John Wick movie, and then I watched Avengers Endgame. They were both pretty good.
What do you think about Cap finally picking up Mjolnir?
Oh, so you've watched Endgame? Honestly,
Yes,
I
I've
don't
watched.
like it. I don't like it.
If you remember from one of the older Avengers movies, Captain America was able to pick up Mjolnir the entire time because when Thor had everyone try to move Mjolnir when it was on that table,
Yeah, and Cap
Cap was
got
the
it to kind
only
of
one.
inch. Yeah, that was when it was
Yeah,
first, and then in Endgame when it actually showed him holding Mjolnir for the first time when Thor's getting his face fucking beat in against that rock by Thanos, and he's like, "I knew it." I mean, I don't like it only because like I understand Captain America's Captain America, whatever, but Mjolnir is something that was crafted specifically for Thor by like cosmic beings from outer space with like cosmic magic and stuff like that, and he's like a god, and even he sometimes isn't worthy of, like, even throughout the Thor movies, like there was a point in time where Thor wasn't even worthy to wield Mjolnir. You know what I mean? So it's like I just don't like the fact that they let Captain America do it, dude.
I'm not the one who grounded you. No,
If
no, no, I'm
anything,
not the one who grounded you.
if anything, they should have had Valkyrie, the black fucking chick from Asgard. They should have
Yeah,
had her be the one to hold Mjolnir, especially because at the end of the fucking movie, when they talk about Thor going back home to Asgard after everything is fixed, and Thor comes out and says he doesn't want to be that, and he lets her rule Asgard. She should have been the one to hold Mjolnir instead of fucking Captain America. He's not even
Right.
from outer
But
space. He's a fucking human. Like,
the
he's
thing
just
is,
a
though,
superpower human. Like, that's, I mean, I I didn't like
yeah,
that.
but the thing is, though, if you read up on Mjolnir's lore, yes,
Oh yeah, that
it was crafted for Thor,
it was
but
crafted
it
for
can be
Odin, but
wielded.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it can be wielded by anyone Mjolnir deems worthy enough to wield.
But that's
So it's
bullshit
Mjolnir's
though, man.
choice
Like,
to pick. Yeah. Why
Cap,
do you
like,
think
he's a
if you
human.
mhm,
He's not even
if
from
you
Asgard. Actually,
if
throughout all the different
you
movies, Captain America's, he's never even been to Asgard. Like, through the Avenger movies and shit, I don't think Cap's ever even been to Asgard. I don't remember seeing him in Asgard in any of the movies. So he's never even been there. But magically, he's just, because he's Captain America and it's all about America and he's just worthy of it. I mean, I
yeah,
understand the way that they did it. It's like because of like his purity of heart and stuff like that. That it has to be something with that. I just don't
mhm,
like that it was this whole like Asgardian thing. It was and actually Alex is right. Mjolnir was actually crafted for Odin and then was handed to Thor because Thor was supposed to be like the god of lightning and it was supposed to help him control his power. So Alex, he is actually right. He did catch me up on that. I forgot about that part. But
um,
it's the point though that it's like, you know, Mjolnir, Stormbreaker, you know, there's Thor, and it's all about Asgard and like whether him as an Asgardian, it was supposed to be, from what I can take from it anyways. I'm not, you know, the people that make the movies and the comics and shit like that, but the way that it seemed, at least through the movies, is that it's supposed to be like Thor becoming like ready in a sense to like be who he is supposed to be, like who the Asgards wanted him to be. And so that's why like he was worthy and then he wasn't and wasn't able to wield it, you know what I mean? And now it was supposed to be, in my eyes anyway, like a character development for him as he matures from just kind of a brute to having more like, you know, more thought process and stuff like that and more feelings. And it was supposed to be this whole thing that was wrapped around Thor and Asgard and like the, you know, and they did the whole Thor Love and Thunder where that other chick fucking was able to wield Mjolnir. But why is it
he
that
turned
Captain
into the god of
America,
thunder.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying, but like why is, and not only was Captain America able to wield Mjolnir, but he had the fucking lightning ability too. How? How does a human be able to channel the power of lightning from the fucking clouds? Like, from the sky? I didn't like it.
He, because he's Captain America.
And I just didn't like it. I felt like, if anything, especially because of the fact that at the end of the movie, when they brought everybody in for like the big war, they should have had
Mhm.
Valkyrie come in, the black chick that Thor ended up letting be the new ruler of Asgard. She should have been the one to be able to wield Mjolnir. It shouldn't have been Cap. I don't like it. Cap, he already got a new fucking shield from Tony that ended up getting smashed to pieces anyway, and now he gets to wield like Thor's magical mystical hammer. And not only that, but they also had him wielding Stormbreaker. Like, this is supposed to be like this magical shit. It's all Asgardian powers, and
If you think about it, Stormbreaker isn't like Mjolnir.
I know Stormbreaker's not like Mjolnir, but it's still the point that
I know.
he's a human that was given superpowers, but he's still from Earth. He's not even a celestial being. He's not a god. He's not anything like that. And he's just worthy of wielding these mystical legendary weapons from a completely different planet that's wielded by a fucking god. And he's never even been to that part of the universe. And he's just, oh, he gets his ass whooped and now magically he can hold Mjolnir. Why? Because he didn't give up when Thor was whooping his ass? That's not good enough for me. there needs to be more backstory behind it. There has to be something more. That was my only like negative thought about the entire movie. The movie was fucking awesome. The way that Ant-Man came in and the way that they figured out the time travel and like they went back to get the different things to be able to fix their own timeline. And I kind of like how they did the whole two nebulas with the memory thing and how Thanos figured it out, and it turned into this whole thing about whether they were able to save their timeline or not. I love the way that they did all of that. It was a little bit confusing, but it made sense as to why they were doing it that way. You know what I mean? And you could still follow along with it. It wasn't too complex. I love the way they did the story. I even like that Tony died at the end of it. I don't really like how his last words were "I am Iron Man." Like, I feel like that whole thing is already played its role. It should have been something else. They should have gave him a different line. I like that Tony sacrificed himself because of like and I knew that it was going to be Tony because of the extra power that he gets from the suit, and because of the power of the piece that's inside of his chest. And I knew that once I saw that Hulk wasn't able to do it, I knew it was going to be Tony that was going to do it, and I knew that it was going to kill Tony to do it, but I still was happy when I actually seen it happen. I love the way that they did that.
I never expected to stand and tell Dora again.
But it's just,
that
was like the biggest thing I didn't like, though, was the way that they had Cap holding Mjolnir, man. It's just, they did all of the Thor movies and like the character development for Thor, and you know, like how he became worthy again. And then even in the Endgame movie, when he was sad and depressed and fat with the dreads and he's drinking and he goes and visits his mom and he gets his pep talk from his mom and it kind of snaps him out of depression and he's worthy again of wielding it. I love all of that. I like how they did that. They continued the character development with Thor even after the movies, after the Avengers, the Thor movies, all of that. All that was great. I just don't like how magically poof Captain America is able to wield Thor's weaponry. I just don't like it. Like, out of all of the other people, like, out of all the other superheroes in fucking Marvel, that would absolutely destroy Captain America in a fucking one-on-one fight, why is he the one that gets to fucking wield it? And not Doctor Strange, you know, like the best of the best, 1 out of 14 million possibilities of victory. You know, like, he's one of the strongest, smartest that there is. He wasn't able to wield it. They could have had Valkyrie do it because at least she's a fucking Asgardian. They didn't have her do it. They definitely could have had Captain Marvel. As powerful as they made her look at that fucking war at the end of the movie, where she just kind of came in out of nowhere and absolutely smashed their entire ship just by flying through the fucking thing. And then Thanos went to punch her in the face after their first encounter, and she went to grab the fucking glove. He went to punch her in the face, and his hand bounced off of her. She's that powerful, but you still choose to give Captain America the fucking weapon? You know what I mean? Like, they could have had it, like, they could have had it been a thing where they could have either had Valkyrie hold Mjolnir and Asgard as like the guardian ruler of Asgard, and let Thor keep Stormbreaker because it's his weapon, or they could have had it be kind of the same thing but between Thor and Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel is one of the only people that is powerful enough and fast enough to be able to go and help defend the rest of the universe and all the other planets. They could have also done it in a way where she got one of the powerful weapons to make it easier for her to, you know, to be able to do these things and keep up with all of these things all over the universe. Because the Avengers are like, oh, well, we defend Earth. But they even made it a thing in the movie where Captain Marvel even came out and said, yeah, but all of these things that are happening to Earth are happening to all the other planets all over the universe too, and all the other planets don't have the Avengers. So she's the only one defending all of these other planets all over the universe. They could have given her something. You know what I mean? Like, there was a few ways they could have done it.
They purposely made her the most OP character in that entire fight. She would have been able to body Thanos in one hit if she actually wanted to.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they brought everybody in for that final fight. Every fucking, like, main Marvel hero you can think of was a part of that final fight. And out of everybody that they brought in for that final fight, Captain America's the one that gets... I just didn't like it. I didn't like it.
You want to know exactly why they did it, though? It's a callback to the first movie, but also... Same thing happened in the comic books. They're trying to keep it with the comic books, and everybody was expecting Captain to eventually hold Mjolnir because he's the only one who's able to move it in the first Avengers movie. So they kind of played to the crowd too. That's why they did it.
I mean, I understand why they did it. I just don't understand why they didn't give us, because I can guarantee you in the comic books there's more of a backstory. It's not just, there's no way in the comics, as detailed as the comic book manga is for Marvel, DC, you know, that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure they probably had more of a backstory to it rather than, oh, he shifted it 1 inch on a table. And then, however long later, years later, because remember, there was also a 5-year gap, like a 5-year time jump in fucking Endgame. And here it is years later, and he just magically has the weapon. There's no backstory to it. There's no thing that's like, oh, well, this at least explains why he's worthy of holding Mjolnir. They just kind of gave it to him in the movie, and I don't like that, because not everybody follows the comics. You know what I'm saying? So if they did it differently in the comics... They could, you know, they could be thinking, oh, you know, well, people could always just go and read the comics and be able to get that backstory. But not everybody does that. They should have had it be more of a thing before they just gave it to him. And then he got his ass whooped anyway.
Yeah, he had a couple good hits in on Thanos until Thanos said, fuck this, he's a human.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was giving it to Thanos at first, but then he still fucking lost anyway. And it's like, it's just... I just didn't get it. Like, if they were gonna give Captain America that fucking hammer and give him the ability to be able to hold Stormbreaker as well, Captain America should have been the one to beat Thanos. I just don't like how they were like, oh, well, he's worthy to hold this hammer, and then still didn't even win anyway. They had to bring in everybody and have Captain Marvel come from however far away in the fucking universe, just for them to finally win. And even then, it was only 1 in 14 million chance that they could have won. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just felt like if they were going to give it to him, he should have been the one to win.
My biggest question about that is the beginning of the Endgame. Oh, I think it was Infinity War Endgame where Hulk fought Thanos. That version of the Hulk, people are saying, utter garbage compared to the 2008 Hulk that fought Abomination when we were kids. If they would have had that Hulk face Thanos, Thanos would have gotten much farther than what he would have gotten.
Well, yeah, but you also got to remember, though, that the reason why they did it the way that they did it is because when we were growing up and we were watching the Incredible Hulk movies and stuff like that, that was the beginning of Bruce Banner's storyline, of his character development. So it was just a thing where when he got mad, he would lose control and the Hulk would come out. But after all of these years and the character development that they've had with Bruce and being able to control his powers to the point where now he's accepted the Hulk and is in Hulk form permanently but still has his consciousness, that's why. Because he doesn't have that uncontrollable rage anymore that he did 15 years ago in the first movies. So there would have been no way for it to... The only way that they would have been able to do that would have been if they would have been able to go back in time to 2008 and have somehow been able to pull the Hulk from that time period into this movie, but even then they wouldn't have been able to control him, and he would have just started beating the shit out of everybody. So I mean, I understand the way that, oh well, they could have had it so that the Hulk, and this and that, but it's called the Avengers. It's not called the Hulk versus Thanos. You know what I mean? So I understand why they did it the way they did it, and you're right. If they would have gotten like old school, early age like Hulk when he was the most powerful, or it was a thing where the more angry and uncontrollable he became, the bigger and stronger he became. Because you notice it was like that in the first few Hulk movies, but then as time progressed and we started getting into the different timelines and into the Avengers and stuff like that, the Hulk got angry and would change into the Hulk, but he stopped growing. He wasn't growing and getting stronger and bigger and angrier and this and that, because Bruce had kind of started to learn to reel him in. And then here it is, however many years later, and it's this thing where it's kind of the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? But so, man, the Marvel Universe is so complex. I don't even know everything about it, man. Like, I'm just going off of what I've seen between the Hulk movies, Iron Man movies, like all the Avengers movies, the Thor movies, like all of the Marvel movies that I've seen over the years. It's kind of what I'm kind of trying to tie things into here.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, I mean, the way that they did it was a good way to do it. The only thing I didn't like about it was the whole Cap getting that ability. But everything else about the movie was, like, perfect. Everything else about it was perfect. The whole thing where it was, like, the foreshadowing between Tony and Doctor Strange, where Tony's like, oh, is this the one in the you say that there's 14 million chance to 1 that we could win. Is this the one? And then Doctor Strange was like, oh, well, if I tell you, it won't happen. Because Tony has to be the one to sacrifice himself for that one to happen. And then right at the end, when things are kind of seeming like they're going to be, done, and Doctor Strange is holding up the fucking hurricane with the water, and he looks over and lifts his finger up to Tony with the 1, and then Tony realizes in his head, like, it's gotta be him, like, that. I love the way that they did that. I love the entire storyline of the movie itself. I just don't like how they did it with Cap. Like, they very easily could have done a thing where when Thor went to Asgard in the past and got to talk to his mom, they could have sent Cap to Asgard with Thor so that his body could have experienced that divine celestial type of energy, and then it would have made more sense for him to be able to be worthy of it. But the fact that he's never even had that celestial energy, throughout the movies and stuff, he's never felt that kind of power before, and then magically after getting his ass whooped, he's just able to wield it. It just doesn't make sense. It just don't make sense to me.
I'm wondering what's going on with, like, the 5-year time gap between Infinity War and Endgame. Because maybe...
Well, it was...
Maybe during that time he actually went to Asgard with Thor to try to talk the fucking sense into him. Like, hey, we still need you on Earth.
Well, no, because they explained what Cap was doing during that 5-year gap, because the 5-year gap was in Endgame. It was the 5-year gap in Endgame, and it showed that Captain, because remember, even after Cap went to visit Natasha, or I think her name is Natasha, the chick that was running the place after Tony left and had a kid with Pepper, he came and was like, oh, trying to get people to move on, and it even showed that scene of him sitting in the chair in the circle with other people. Cap spent the last 5 years trying to get the half of the population and that did survive to move on and thrive. That's what he spent all of that time doing. You know what I mean? And then Ant-Man was the one that came out of the quantum realm and started explaining to these guys how the time works differently there. And so the time jump was pretty much just to show us that after they lost everybody kind of, like, there was a few people that did still stay and that still were defending parts of things and this and that, you know, but the Avengers in a sense split up. Like, they weren't what they were. You know what I mean? And Cap and Tony walked away from it all. Tony went to live out in the middle of the woods with Pepper, had a kid, you know, his daughter Morgan, you know, this and that. And Cap went and tried to bring the rest of the world together to move on from what happened and try to thrive and get the world working again, while everybody else was doing all of this other. So, I mean, they kind of explained what was going on. But yeah, they definitely should have had something with him getting to Asgard, or at least outer space. Like, I could be wrong about this, but I don't ever even remember Cap leaving Earth. Like, I don't even ever remember him going into space. So, like, even if they would have done something like that, where it would have been this whole thing where he could have at least still felt that, like, celestial type of energy. But just the fact that there's like nothing, there's no backstory for it, you know. It just kind of was there, it just kind of happened, and people were just supposed to accept it. And I'm like, I don't just accept it. Like, I've watched the Captain America movies. Even in the Captain America movies, you don't see anything from Cap that would indicate that he would be worthy of wielding some mystical, legendary, celestial fucking weaponry, you know what I mean? I just didn't like how they did that. But the rest of it was great. I loved the movie as a whole. I just didn't like that part. You know what I mean?
And that's understandable. I mean, a lot of people probably didn't like it, to be honest with you, but most of the Marvel fucking fan base went absolutely bonkers when they saw that.
Oh, I know. I just have more thought process rather than, oh, Cap gets to wield Mjolnir, and that's awesome. It is awesome. But they should have explained it better in the movie. And they definitely could have. It's not like Marvel doesn't have the fucking budget to be able to add an extra few scenes showing something, just any kind of something that would show that he's worthy. What, he's worthy because he got it to move an inch on a table one time when they were all hanging out as a group? Like, that just, it doesn't...
You want to know what? If he was worthy to pick it up back then, he was just nice and didn't actually pick it up.
And that's exactly why, when it did show him wielding it, Thor looked at him and said, I knew it. Because I think it was actually in Infinity War, when they did that, and they had that scene where he kind of slid it, and it showed Thor looking at him the way that he did. At that point in time, everybody knew that Cap was able to wield it. So just being that we knew a whole fucking movie ago that for some reason he is worthy of wielding it, they just never told us why. You know what I mean? And I don't get me wrong, it could be a thing where, like, at the end of Endgame, where it showed, I don't know, because Cap isn't even with them. I was gonna say, because I want to see if they do, because at the end of the movie, how it shows Thor going with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and, you know, he's all like, oh, you know, where are the Asgardians of the Galaxy going next? If they did a movie with Thor in the Guardians of the Galaxy, I felt like that would be kind of cool.
Right.
But they gotta do something with Cap that's not on Earth. Just to show us something. It's just so weird that he's this earthly being that is just a super soldier in a sense. Like, they just increased his power, and, you know, like, it's weird, man. It's weird. And here's my thing too, because, like, Hulk,
any of the archives survived?
He couldn't, like, he can't even lift it. And he's actually got, like, gamma radiation, and it was like they had this whole backstory with Hulk, and it was this whole big giant thing, and, like, how he's able to control it now. Like, you would think that he would be more worthy than anybody else, because he had this uncontrollable fucking just rage and there was nothing that could stop it, you know, and he managed over time to be able to reel that in and control and accept, you know, that part of him. And in my eyes, Hulk should have been the one that was worthy. You know,
Actually,
like,
you wanna know
it's
what's
not
funny?
like Cap ever went off the fucking rail, out of control, destroying a bunch of shit, you know, and there was never any, like, dark path that Cap was going down that he corrected that would make himself be worthy of something that powerful. You know what I mean? At least with Hulk, there's more backstory and there's more character development and more of that darker path that ended up in time leading into the, you know, I don't know.
Actually,
It was cool to see.
Hulk, Hulk was able to pick up Mjolnir, but when he had the uncontrollable rage, he actually broke Mjolnir's rule about not being worthy, and he threw Mjolnir when he was extremely pissed right at Thor. And one of the first Avenger movies.
No, I think
Like,
I think the one you're talking about is Infinity War, where the Hulk gets he's on that planet and he's the gladiator, and you're talking about the movie where the Hulk and Thor fight.
yeah, early on, and like when it was in a parking lot, it was like in a parking structure when he did it. Like I said, it was like one of the first Avenger movies. Hulk, because Thor threw Mjolnir at Hulk. Hulk tried to catch it, but it pinned him down. And Hulk was able to get on his feet and lift it up and kind of like half-ass throw it right at Thor.
Right.
As a way of saying no.
See, that's what I'm saying is that I just don't like how it was like, I don't know, it was just weird, man.
Right.
Like, I mean, like how you were saying, they have already in the past had Hulk be able to lift Mjolnir in his uncontrollable rage state. So now that he's able to control that uncontrollable rage state, and he's able to accept it and this and that, he should be able to just, like, it should make him worthy. But it doesn't. And it's so weird. You know, because Hulk, I do believe he was the first one other than Thor that we've ever seen lift it. And it was during that scene where he chucked it back at Thor. That was,
Yeah,
I do
Thor
believe
was
that
like,
was before the whole thing with Cap.
yeah, it was way before.
And that's what I'm saying.
Like I
So,
said,
like,
it was I think it was the movie where I think it was the first Avenger movie, the first or second, where because it was the same movie where Hulk in his uncontrollable rage whooped the ever living shit out of Loki.
yeah. Let me ask you a question about the game real quick. If you open your map, do you have the hidden outlook waypoint unlocked yet?
Yeah.
Did you say yeah?
You might actually have a headset.
Well, because I have it pulled up on my map for the quest that you're on now, the Whispers from the Past, where you pursue Elias into the Tyrant's Palace. But if
Yeah, I have the hidden overlook waypoint.
you have the overlook, all right, let's go ahead and travel there.
All right. Well, because Isaac, he don't we got him a Roku a while ago. But now these guys, that's not he doesn't use his Roku anymore. And with my headset just breaking, I've been looking on Marketplace for a new headset. And this one guy has a Logitech one that he's just selling for $10. I messaged him, hey, are you willing to trade this for a Roku player? He's like a Roku stick? I'm like, no, it's the Roku Express.
Right.
So I'm just waiting for him to respond. So I might actually have a headset for my computer, so Jesse don't have to buy me one.
Let
That was
me
fun.
use an elixir. Get that XP boost.
Let's
Okay, we just gotta go
try to
straight.
get into a small fight so I can use my howl to see what it does with you. Just because I want to see to make sure that it actually does affect you. I do have it imprinted on my necklace, so I don't know if this can give you attack speed, crit, if it's going to heal you, but
Oh,
I have no idea what it's. And we can just do this when we get through this part up here.
While you were in the city, I was thinking,
Yes,
meaning
what's
it's
the
Duriel,
real
whichever
problem?
own.
Okay.
oh, fall pits.
Well, it gave you attack speed. I saw you guys swing faster when I used it.
Got that. Ah.
It does affect you in some way.
Wrong way.
It gives you a cloud around you. That's good enough. You're really gonna notice it during a boss fight, though.
Huh?
So we're really gonna probably notice the attack speed and stuff during a boss fight.
Probably.
They hear you.
Huh?
That's cool. That's good enough.
There. Ahead. Could that be it?
You good, bro?
Yeah, I'm just looking at what I got.
I've finally been getting topazes now.
Twin sabers. Inarius' stupidity. Now she has... Wait. Do you hear that? Voices.
Why do we stay here? Need More prey, more meat.
And you will have it once Elias has finished his grand work.
What work? You will see soon, but...
Elias, he is poised to summon Andariel into the world. Her power will lift us to new heights. Certainly, great bro.
Andariel, the Maiden of Anguish. That is the lesser evil he means to summon. Heavens help us.
Which is pretty cool. So I can hear you now.
The what? What'd you say?
It might not be much. I said my howl does heal you, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because you were damaged, so I used my howl and it healed you up and gave you the attack speed and everything. I'm like, oh, perfect. Now I can heal you when you're low.
Nice.
Do we share gold or just don't share loot?
I think so.
The master
ready?
calls forth the maiden.
Let's do this.
You will not disturb him.
You want to be careful for the lightning stuff that you're going to see on the ground, the little red circles. And then when it shoots out those little things, those things make you vulnerable when they hit you. So you want to be careful about those.
I must wait a moment.
It's cool that I can heal you. That's definitely going to come in clutches later, boss.
I'm low on spirit.
Look at all this. An archive of the Forbidden, handpicked by Elias himself. He must be planning to summon Andariel somewhere else. But he did his research.
Cats are going nuts right
Look
now.
around. There might be some clues that can tell us where the ritual will take place.
It's the only thing that's going to think about me playing up here at,
Alright, so there's certain things in here that you'll see that are glowing. Oh, I got it, never mind.
yeah, I found one. It's just when I need to smoke a cigarette.
Andorra.
When I want to just
This is
irritate.
why the
When I want to
Opus
smoke a
Nine
cigarette, I gotta go
No.
outside.
Yes, now to find.
You said you gotta go
Down in the
outside when you
bookcase.
want to smoke?
I guess that's the one
Yeah,
thing
because
you
I'm
learned
not
from me.
home.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm up with Jessica's mom. So,
That's fine. Alright, well, let's go ahead and finish getting out of here real quick, because this just takes us back to the hidden overlook. And then once we get back to the town, if you want to go smoke real quick, you can.
yeah, I'll go outside and smoke a cigarette.
Should have killed him when I had. We must talk.
Oh, hang on. You want to just stay here for a second, come back down this way, just so you don't get attacked while you're out, and then you can go out and smoke if you want real quick.
You want to get back?
Alrighty.
I looked a little bit more than the other one. That's to get humane society gave me to clean it.
Poison damage, that's big.
He goes up from it.
So I lose the physical damage, vulnerable damage.
Gentleman humane society gave me, I tried on her first. Well, switched it to what Damon gave me. It's funny with that.
832, 25, 37, 96.
I was wondering if you guys would do this. The one at the humane society. Oh, what food? Yeah.
Damn it. Of course, it's gonna try to give me fucking Hurricane. I'm gonna use that. Yeah, and of course, the Purveyor of Curiosities is all the way up here.
Ah, fate smiles. The
20% chance to healing lightning damage over the target.
Stay on the path.
You there, bro?
Heed
Yeah,
no
I'm here.
evil.
Alright, I'm back.
Alrighty. I just try. Hang on. I'll be right back over there.
Oh, I just transferred to where you were.
I cannot carry anymore.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of some of my stuff too.
fight hard, eh? Make the devils pay.
I need to get more rubies. Increase my life up even more. I feel like you can't buy rubies.
You can't buy what?
You can't buy gems and stuff.
No. Unfortunately.
They did. That's what they did in Diablo 3, which is why so many people were so power leveling up so much.
Why? What kind of gem do you need?
I just want another ruby so that way I can have more increased max health.
Oh yeah, I don't even have any rubies either. Otherwise I could give you a small one, but I don't even have any.
Everyone's getting ready to eat up here. I'll probably eat when everyone else is done. What I do at my house anyway. How's your day been?
It hasn't been too bad. So far, anyways.
Good that you actually got to sleep in for a long time.
Yeah, I slept in pretty late last night, to be honest. Oh, wrong way.
It's definitely a little more rambunctious here than it is at my house. But...
Somewhere in this paradise, the Triune. Bale Shrine is close. We'll start there.
Yeah, now we gotta go to the 3 different shrines. And we do something with the 3 different shrines, and then after we complete this one, then we'll be able to get in. Why is my fucking stream on my phone is lagging so bad? Oh, it's because I'm not connected to the internet for some fucking reason. There we go.
I need more spirits.
Oh, we gotta this way.
Yeah, I think that I can trade his old Roku player for a headset because I want to play that.
Yep, you were going the right way.
Okay. I'm just following you because you've gone through this before I have.
Diablo, Lord of Terror.
Nice,
Hey,
you
I
got a
love
level.
that. Sweet. So I have a theory about that black wolf that you ran into earlier in the campaign and stuff.
Yeah, what's your
Where it
theory?
showed you the old system. That's Diablo.
No. It's not Diablo. I'm not gonna ruin it for you, so I won't tell you who it is, but no. The only reason I even know who it is because of fucking spoilers I saw on YouTube. But yeah, no, it's
my
not
first
Diablo.
reaction was, because why would it bring you back to the old Christmas, which is like the first, second, and third game setting?
Yeah, I don't even think Diablo's in this game, to be honest.
Mephisto, you need
I
to
can
see,
I talk.
but watch it.
Duel Mephisto.
Yeah, and then we go into the fiery portal. I do believe this is where you find out who the wolf is. Go ahead, talk to him.
We meet again.
Don't skip nothing. Straight all the way through. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is where we find out who he is.
Where was Father?
Yeah, it's Mephistos. Or Mephisto, however the hell his name is. Yeah. Father of hatred.
Destroy Gorn, destroy the barbarians.
Hold them back!
You want to say hi to Steve, maybe? I'm the headset. What about the possible headset I'm getting for trading for Isaac Wilson? That I can, so.
Ulkathos, lend me your strength!
When you see those guys go to jump into the air like they do, you need to dodge out of the way. When they jump, if they jump and land on you, they do a shitload of damage and they knock you down, so you can't defend yourself. And when you get knocked down, you can't use your defensive skills or use potions.
Right.
And you will die, like, really fucking quickly.
I don't know, that's how I died most of the time. Give you a little bit of healing.
Well done. Yes. All take.
Where? There we go.
Isn't it crazy how her fucking dad is the one that gives us the blessing that we need?
Huh?
It's fucking nuts, right? Yep. Wrong way.
Vehicle is just zoomed out for the rest of the game. Hold on a second. Just hit Laura. I forgot I have a skill point to spend. Because I leveled up.
Go ahead, spend it.
Just spent it, upgraded Raven.
What took you so long? What?
We all
We don't
have
clear your head. The Temple of the Primes is just ahead.
And this is where I'm at.
To the Temple of Prime.
Yeah, now we just go back the way we came. And how we came up this area, and you went to go over to the right where that thing was. That's where we're gonna go. So we're gonna come up here, and then we're gonna turn right, and we're gonna use that this thing to climb down.
Yeah. You know, I like how they actually had the NPCs climb down too instead of just teleporting.
I agree. I think it's pretty cool.
Well, now that I know why Sevilla skulks, just I'll keep an eye on mine and your health bar when we're in fight, and I'll pop the healing when needed. My right hand button. And don't worry, any kill I get will shorten its cooldown, and I think any kill you get will shorten its cooldown too if you're affected by it.
Maybe.
But I'm glad I spent the time and looked for
By your
that one
hand, the
specific
way
aspect
will
that
be
can influence.
opened.
Ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
Go.
So from here on out, I don't know what happens.
The moment you see Elias, strike him down. Do
I'm
not hesitate.
only 6 levels behind you.
Yeah, well,
Which is surprising.
that's why I was saying that we could try to do what we can to get through the story, and then after we're done with the story, you could probably catch up.
Welcome Dario to the world!
You good? What's going on?
Jesse's messing with me.
We're gonna be fighting Elias here soon, I think.
Wait, Do you hear something?
Whoa.
Oh, shit!
Whoa, hello.
I need more spirit. I must wait a moment.
Was not expecting that.
I'm doing surprising amount of damage. Well, that's there for you.
Physical damage, earth skill damage. I just don't use the cyclone armor. Where? Dude, will you stop just standing there, bro?
Firefly's in your way.
No, it's because for some reason my guy just kept fucking... He kept going over there and, like, just standing in front of the enemies, like... I hate it when they do that. It only happens when I transform into werebear, dude. Like, when I'm in werebear form, because the enemies are so much smaller than my character is, if I get too close to an enemy, my guy will just... It's like they lock into each other, and I can't fucking move.
Oh, we said you're gonna have fun shooting your friends at each other right now while we're done with getting up.
I must wait a moment.
I love my ultimate.
Guess we went the right way.
Nice. Oh, there's a big ass
We're
brute.
too late. The ritual is underway.
That's that brawl guy.
I will
Remember
deal
when
with
we
Elias
looked through the
myself.
thing? When we looked through the
Stay
crack
to the
to
shadows.
eavesdrop on those guys? That's that guy.
Hope Warlock doesn't die here.
There he is. There's Elias. Damn.
Damn it, Elias. I warned you not to walk this path. Laura.
He stabbed him in the fucking throat. Oh, shit.
Please, come with me.
Let's go, bro.
Guy. Fingers ready?
Yep, let's go fucking whoop his ass, bro. Come here, bitch. Nice, we got immunity. Move out of that.
Even hurt.
I always forget that the gear that you have on your character gives you, better resistances than me.
I must wait a moment.
That's what makes me immune.
I'm low on spirit.
That's out of that one now. Bastard.
Come on.
I need time to do that. I must wait a moment.
Die, bitch.
You didn't even that legendary boot.
I got a legendary amulet.
You know what? Who said picked up? Aw, man.
Ooh.
Ooh, bro, that's pretty cool. using the gauge charge, but my every attack will reduce my evade cooldown by over half a second.
Dude, this amulet I just got, it says your core skills deal up to 33% increased damage based on your amount of fortify. But I would lose the bubble.
I took my bubble off because I found one that gave me 3.5% werewolf skill damage. And then I put the Blood Howl one on there. So, you know, I mean, I sacrificed the bubble, but my werewolf skills do a lot more damage. So, I mean, 4.5 still more damage than what I had before. Use my inventory. Use my inside. Lightning. Yeah, I'm not switching that out.
What happened? It feels like fire crawling over my skin. Ugh.
You were tattooed. A ritual.
I hear something. A voice in my head.
Pandario. A connection was made between you and her. Who are you?
Thaisa. Who are you?
I am Lorath, one of the Haradrim.
Haradrim. So is Elias.
If he told you that, he was lying. I came to kill him. Thought I had, but the moment I looked away, he vanished.
If he survived, he will have fled to his refuge.
Refuge?
He has a palace, somewhere in the deserts of eastern Kyrgyzstan. But that is all I...
We should get to Tarsarak. The people there know the deserts of Kyrgyzstan well. Maybe someone has heard of this palace.
Let me join you. I don't know how much help I will be in this condition, but I owe you.
You don't owe us anything. But you are welcome to come. You deserve vengeance too.
What the fuck was that? That was weird. My game just like lagged out for some reason. That was strange. Oh man. It's a long fucking ways away, dude.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like going to Nevesk is probably the best bet for us right now. It's probably gonna get us the closest, but Nevesk doesn't have a doesn't have all of the different things, so I'm gonna go back to Kyovashad just so that I can salvage and sell stuff, you know, just kind of regroup with my gear and whatnot. And then and then I'll fast travel from Kyovashad to Nevesk. And if you don't have that area unlocked yet, you should be able to just teleport right to me.
Oh, Nevesk, I have that unlocked.
Okay, cool.
I gotta go to the bathroom, and I'm gonna go out and smoke a cigarette real quick while we get everything else prepped for the next story mission.
Okay.
Alright, I'll probably the key overstead with you, though. Alright, bro, I will be back in a few minutes.
Alrighty.
I cannot carry anymore.
have many fine pieces, rare and beautiful. Bliss, and thank you.
Actually, it smells like my mom's down there making dinner. I don't know what she's making, but it smells good. I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick and see what my mom is making for food, because it smells yummy. You back yet, Levi? No. Okay.
I'm back, bro.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm sitting in the desk right now.
Alright. I'm gonna go salvage some of my stuff and sell some more. There's 20 stock. 20 from my stock. 5. I'll go more core.
Might actually jump off for a little bit and get something to eat. Fucking
Yeah,
starving.
it's about dinner's almost done here. I got a question for you. I know you can't see my screen, but I picked up a weapon that gives me a little bit more damage per second. I lose 20 plus 20 to all my stats, but I'll gain more core skill damage.
Okay,
I
so
get plus 18% damage to close enemies, and I can put my 2 pads to give me more damage to my core skill.
alright, so your core skill is shred, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get more damage for shred. While you're leveling up, you pretty much want to try to focus on like more attack. You know, so like if it gives you a higher damage per second and it gives you more damage for your core skill, which usually the core skill is most of the time you'll build your you'll make your build usually around the core skill, because that'll be like the biggest damage dealer that you'll have. So you want to try to increase your substats as you can. That will like reflect and synergize with your build, but you want to try to focus on getting higher attack power.
Right, and plus this weapon also gives me plus 18 damage to close enemies, which with me being the werewolf, I'm always going to be up close.
Yeah, damage to close enemies is good. That pretty much means it pretty much means that all enemies that we fight that are like melee enemies, you'll do more damage to them. But like the biggest way to do it is like while you're leveling up to level 50, you want to try to just focus on like life and attack power, stuff like that, you know. If you can get some substats going, then you know that's great. But you want to try to focus on them. Once you start unlocking the Paragon board, and you can start increasing certain substats through the Paragon board, that's when you want to try to start fleshing out, like, your substats, figuring out which substats that you want that are going to make your build better, and then try to start focusing more on them. But while you're leveling, you just want to try to get as much attack power as you can, because that means you'll do more damage, you'll kill enemies faster, and you'll get XP faster.
Right. So it's a good thing that I put on that one staff then, because it gives me 14 force skill damage plus the 22.5%. So that right there is 36.8% more core damage, plus the 18% the more
Okay,
enemies. So my ability to be able to do a bunch more.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Hit escape and go into your options, and then go to gameplay.
Okay.
Underneath where it says show all tutorials, where it says advanced tooltip compare and advanced tooltip information, do you have those turned on?
No, I have them on.
To turn both of those on, and then go back in and re-look at the gear that you just swapped out, because that is what's going to tell you, because like there's certain things that you'll get on an item that will have the same stats as the stuff that you already have, but if it's the same, it'll tell you whether it'll give you more of that amount or less of that amount, and it tells you what you lose when you equip that item and what you'll gain when you equip that item. It makes it so much easier to understand like what you're gaining and what you're losing when you're swapping out different items just by having those turned on. As soon as you go in there and you hit the if you go in there and I think it's the shift button that you hit to turn on the compare, once you have that compare on, you should be able to see the difference in, like, you know, it should be a lot easier to tell whether the gear is better or not better. Because I was doing the same thing before. Like, before I turned that on, I was just looking at the stats on one piece, looking at the stats on the other piece, and then trying to figure out, like, oh, well, this one I lose this much, or I gain this much, but with these advanced tooltip informations and stuff like that, and the advanced compare on, you don't have to do all of that yourself. Like, the game will do it for you. And, like, let's say you have the piece that you have on now gives you, like, you know, plus 20% poison damage. And then you get another piece of gear that's like, oh, plus 13% poison damage. Instead of looking at one, looking at the other, and trying to figure out what the difference is, it'll just tell you that you lose 7% poison damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's the same way if you reversed it, where if you were gaining 7% damage, instead of doing that math yourself, it'll just show you plus 7%, you know, when it's equipped. So it tells you what you gain and what you lose for every item that you swap out.
Well, that's good to know. I haven't had that on because I didn't, because when I first booted up the game and stuff, I asked you, do you want to do the tutorial tips, or you not want to? I just chose not to because I've played Diablo for so long. I didn't realize that I've done that with every Diablo game, and I didn't realize that that's what that meant. And I'm like, oh, so thank you for telling me to turn it on and stuff. But now I don't have to do the math in my head and make my brain work.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier and so much faster when it comes to figuring out whether the gear is actually worth swapping out or not. Because you could get stuff that'll have, like, oh, well, this has this has higher substats, but those substats could be taking off stats that you need for your build, you know, and just because you see a higher percentage amount on that other item, you just throw it on because it's a higher amount. But you're losing the stuff, you know what I'm saying, that you need for your build and just replacing it with something else because it's higher, you know? So it makes it
Right.
easier to make sure that you stay on course and like evolve your build as you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me to turn it on. And plus, like I said, I think what I should be focusing on. I shouldn't be trying to focus on it now, but what I should be focusing on is substats with damage to close enemies and core skill damage. Because because of us being melee, it'd be better for us to focus on them because we're always going to be close to wherever the hell we're fighting.
Right.
We always have to be up close. Now, if we were doing the elemental parts where we can do ranged attacks and stay back, we'd focus on the distance. Well, since we're up close and personal to everything that we're fighting, focus on the close one.
Right.
The substat.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump off for a little bit and try to figure out something to eat and whatnot. So I mean, I know you said you were like 6 levels behind. I'm actually like a little less than a bar and a half away from level 44. So I'm gonna jump off for a little bit, figure out something to eat. Yeah, I'm gonna jump off, figure out something to eat and whatnot, and then depending on how long I decide to relax for, I might be down to play again later. If not, I do have tomorrow off. I'm gonna try not to sleep until 2 o'clock in the fucking afternoon again. That way I have more time to play and stuff. But, so I'm gonna jump, like I said, I'll jump off, I'll get something to eat. And if I decide to jump back on or whatever, I'll shoot you a message and let you know. And see if you're still down to play or whatever, and we'll just go from there.
I'm gonna be down to play. Sure.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
Just shoot me a message if you're gonna get back on and let me know. If not, then I'll probably just run some dungeons and stuff and try to catch up to your level and stuff. Switch back to World Tier 2 so that way I can gain more experience to power level past.
Right. And another thing you can do too, try to work on the renown. Because like I said, getting that second reward for the renown increases the amount of potions you have. You know, so it's just like areas that are still grayed out, you know what I mean? Like just exploring new areas gives you renown, doing side quests will give you renown, finding the altars of Lilith will give you renown, you know, and so and you can do that and it will still level you, but at the same time it'll give you more potions and shit too, and it gives you bonuses and stuff. So I mean, you could do it however you want to do it, but more potions equals it takes you longer to die, which is always good.
Right. I think it sucks that I found that one, because I was looking at the map and everything with the dungeons that I have already, like, I can just go to without having to search for them and stuff. And that's how I found that one Blood Howl, one that affects you. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that'd be pretty helpful, but even if it gives you more attack speed, I didn't expect it to heal you. Even with more attack speed, that's faster we can get our abilities out, faster we can take down the enemy. But now that I know it can heal you, we can kind of plan on it, like, and it heals you for over a quarter of your life.
Right.
It's percent based, it's not set based. So I just sit there, and if you're low and I'm low, we can give us a quarter more health or a little bit over, and then we can still be in the fight without necessarily having to use a potion right away.
Right. I get that.
That's what, yeah, and that's what I was doing in the boss fight too and everything. Every chance that was on cooldown, I was confident so we didn't have to use as many potions as if I didn't have that.
Right.
But I'll let you go and get something to eat, bro.
Alright, yeah. And then like I said, I'll shoot you a message and let you know when and if I decide to get back on again tonight, and we'll go from there.
Oh, I love you.
Alrighty, I love you too. Bye. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream for now and try to get something to eat. I know we weren't even live for 2 hours this time, but I'm just starving, man. And my mom's making food downstairs, and it's smells good, and it's making me even more hungry. So if there's anybody in the stream that hasn't done it yet, if you want to go ahead and smash that like button for the algorithm, I'd really appreciate it. Also, you guys can hit that red subscribe button and ring the notification bell so it's set to receive all from the channel. That way you guys can get the ever elusive first like and comment of the stream when I go live again. And it also helps me reach my goal of 200 subscribers by the end of this year. And we have 167 now, so I only need 33 more subscribers by the end of this year, and we will achieve our goal. You can also follow me on my social media handles and join my Discord server by clicking on the links in the description. And with that being said, until either sometime later tonight or tomorrow, which I also have off, yeah, this is your boy, your main man, your favorite streamer, Psychotic, saying,